talking about elephant poaching today and why it should be stopped. Today, my main purpose is to persuade you about why elephant poaching should be stopped, and I'm going to explain some facts about elephants and why they are such amazing creatures, why are they so special, and why are they so important for our ecosystem. I'm also going to be discussing how poachers poach the elephants and take their tusks, and I'm going to also discuss how and why they use the tusks for ivory, and then what they use the ivory for and everything, so you kind of understand like what is the ivory trade and why it's in such demand. Today there are about 100 elephants a day that are poached on average. According to Over and Above Africa, they say that their numbers keep decreasing, that there's only about 400,000 elephants left today in the world. And the main reasons for this is poaching for the ivory and the habitat loss that comes with that as well. People coming in and moving in camps and poachers and ruining the habitats, hunting down the elephants and taking their tusks. While we all, not everyone, eats meat. Most people that kill animals, we kill them for different reasons. Like, we kill them for eating meat, or, we use milk, things like that. But this is just strictly for their tusks. Elephants deserve better. They deserve to be treated better. They are extremely, extremely intelligent animals. After I discovered all these amazing qualities of the African elephant through my research, I learned how the people hunt them and what they use the ivory for. And now that I have this knowledge, I can't stop thinking about it. It is an absolute shame that elephants have to face this on a daily basis, that they're being hunted for their ivory, and that we should continue to try to preserve our wildlife. So now we're going to talk a little bit about African elephants. People describe elephants as being extremely smart, emotional, and self-aware, and highly sociable creatures. This is the Sheldrake Wildlife Trust website. This is their foundation, and they're talking about the African elephant, the Loxodonta africana. The main things I'm going to talk about that were the most notable during my research of African elephants was their size, and then also just in general their cognitive abilities and their memory, and also their communication skills. They're extremely smart. It says here that elephants are known for their incredible memory. Matriarchs will remember the trails of watering holes and how to navigate the seasons. All knowledge handed down by their ancestors for generations, and knowledge so vital for their survival. It says over here that elephants, their ears can be 5 feet long, which is really crazy, and that they're just huge in size. It says that I'm trying to see where I got their weight from. That's okay. Oh. It was on Natu and Catherine. She writes an article talking about elephants as well. She said that they're 4 to 5 tons on average, so they're pretty big. They also are known to be, she said they are known to be the largest mammal on land. So that's really something. They're the biggest mammal, and they also are known to have some of the biggest brains of all the mammals as well. They use communication skills, like they use their ears and their trunks. They wave them at each other. They also use infrasonic sounds that are so low that humans can't hear them, that from up to 10 kilometers away, they can feel these low vibrations of sound to each other. So they're extremely smart creatures. They also mourn over their dead. It's seen that there's evidence of them going to grave sites and mourning over the carcasses, and there's evidence of them moving the remains of the dead ones. So they obviously do feel. They have a memory. They communicate with each other. They help their young. It says here, I believe that they wait up for the infants, as with infants surrounded by nurturing members of the herd. Their young babies are always protected from the elements like the wind, the rain, and the sun. Here's some more pictures of that. So they're pretty incredible creatures. So now that we know a little bit more about the elephant, the African elephants, we need to talk about now what's going on with poaching. Before I play this clip though, I'm going to discuss it. So poachers are hunters who hunt big game illegally. So this is illegal. Elephant hunting is illegal. It is banned worldwide. It's banned in China, it's banned in Africa, it's banned in all these places, but it's extremely popular still to this day. Poachers generally use poison arrows. Powell D. Watcher, the WWF coordinator for West Africa, said in a statement that was featured in Newsweekly that these weapons hurt the animal but do not kill them immediately. So once the elephants are on the ground, after they get hit with the poison arrow, they become immobilized. They can't move or anything like that. And basically it condemns them to a painful death. Basically the elephant, they empty out their blood, they cut off its trunk, and it's a very painful process. And then it'll be like a giant open wound on the elephant, and they basically get an infection most of the time, and they die from that giant open wound. So it's not a very pleasant, humane killing of the elephants. It's actually very horrific. And in this article as well on Mother Jones, it said that it takes a special kind of capacity for cruelty, even evil, to be an elephant poacher. It's like pretty intense to do this. This is on BBC.
To catch up with the older orphans that are being slowly reintroduced back to the wild. Despite their size, these are still very young elephants, all under 10 years old. Each is still coming to terms with their own personal story of loss.
I suddenly feel very, very small. And this elephant here, with that great rip in his ear,
You guys see that
the
big
most
rip in his
distinctive of
ear?
all of these elephants, that's Burra. And the reason for that tear in his ear is because he was caught up in a wire snare. He was 8 months old, and his mother literally...
So they also use snares a lot, and the snares catches the elephant. So a lot of times they will catch the elephant with the snare, and they're trapped and they can't get out, and then they go back, and that's when a lot of times they use those poison arrows as well. They'll shoot the elephant with the poison arrow, and then they'll cut off its tusks. And he talks more about it here.
So,
And when the poacher comes round...
but the scale of the problem is shocking.
Many of the little orphan elephants have lost their mothers because of poachers. I mean, just take a look at this lot. These are wire snares. This is how the poachers kill
So
the
those are what
elephants.
like the snares look like. They're
And
not.
that is what it's
not
going to take
comfortable looking.
to kill an elephant, a thumping great big piece of cable. The elephant puts its foot in that, gets tangled up, pulls the snare tight, can't get away because it's attached to a tree. And when the poacher comes round to check his snares, he brings with him poison arrows. These are wrapped up with plastic or with hide, because if I was even to scratch my finger with that, it could kill me.
So you guys probably understand the gist. They catch the elephant, they poison the elephant, and then they cut off its tusks, and then most likely that elephant will probably die. And the other elephants, they are smart enough to remember that and smart enough to be traumatized by that. And they can recount memory, and they mourn over their dead ones. So it's not like it just happens to them and then they just forget about it, you know, which is just really upsetting. It's upsetting too that they are so inhumane with the way that they kill the elephants. Not like they put them to sleep and then remove the tusks. They trap it with a snare, and then they just cut off the tusk after they poison the elephant. Now that we understand how they poach elephants, let's discuss why African elephants are poached and like what they use the ivory for. So they usually, so most of my research was in a lot of Chinese culture, which is not, this is worldwide, but just a lot of Chinese culture. They use a lot of these ivory trinkets and like figurines and like jewelry and stuff like that. This is like very popular. They also, some traditional medicine believes in using the ivory powder for things such as like epilepsy, for example, and emperors believed ivory powder could detect poison. And this is from Clarissa Way's article titled The Myths of Medicinal Ivory. And she goes on and talks kind of about the history of the ivory powder and what it's used for. But mostly people think today that it's for epilepsy, but she says in the article that there's just not really a lot of research to back that up, a lot of evidence to back that up. Mostly this ivory is used just for jewelry and trinkets. So all that pain and that the elephants go through and their painful death, being trapped in a snare and then poisoned and killed, it's for trinkets and jewelry. And I've read chess pieces, piano keys, just lots of like miscellaneous items like that that really don't need to be made out of tusks from an elephant, could be made out of a different material. So it's just very interesting to me. So now that we've gone over some facts about the African elephants and why people poach them, how they poach them, we can see, why this needs to stop. African elephants are beautiful, magnificent creatures. And I'm calling all of you guys into action here to look at some of these websites here. We have the WWF website. They have lots of information and stuff on this website. You can go to Donate Now, Adopt an Animal. You can go on there. This is IFAW. This is also for elephants and for ivory. They have lots of different information on here as well, and you can donate as well. So just getting out there and putting a donation, honestly, every little bit helps these elephants. And that's just the only really way that I think from here that we could help them. Just because we, can't really go out and fight poachers. Most day-to-day people can't, but we can definitely help these foundations fight these poachers and try to give these elephants a better life, because they are endangered of going extinct. All the creatures in the world are beautiful, especially the African elephant. They are so incredible and so similar to humans in so many ways, with their memory recall and their communication skills and how they feel and how they have empathy, and they're playful, they're gentle, they're just incredible creatures. It's an absolute shame that poachers are the reason why these animals are still endangered and why their numbers are still depleting. So thank you guys so much for listening, and I hope you guys take a look at some of these websites.